Yo, what up everybody? It's Stephen here from Mod2Fame, and we are back with another video. And in this one, I want you to say hello to my little friend.
Suave on the beat.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are inside the 2014 Jaguar F-Type convertible with a V6 supercharged engine. So no, it's not the R, this is just the F-Type. That being said, I've been driving this car for a couple days now. I rented this car off with Toro while I was in Atlanta, so that this way I can get, you know, around in a cool car, as opposed to renting like, you know, a Chrysler 300 or a Cadillac or something like that, a car that I necessarily wouldn't enjoy. I tend to use Toro because I can get cool cars from it. And no, this channel is not yet sponsored by Toro, but I have a feeling after this video it probably will be. So as you guys know, Mod2Fame is not a channel that does stock cars. However, I do like to talk about cars that I think are buildable, meaning that with very few mods, it would actually be a very cool looking car and a rather performance driven car. And I think this car falls into that perfectly. I also like to talk about cars that I think are great value for dollar. So let's talk about that really quickly. This car is a 2014, just under 16,000 miles. And I jumped on Auto Trader real quick, and this is what I saw. So you see that, guys? Under 40 grand. Now, $40,000 may seem like a lot of money, but what you're not realizing is this car sticker priced. The most base of base models was like $80,000. So what is it? We're in 2019. So 5 years later, the car has lost more than half its value. So it's like, Stephen, why would I do that? Well, I mean, you could look at it a couple of different ways. One, I'm not saying to ever buy this car new. Not this particular one, unless you're leasing it. If you're leasing it, depreciation won't matter. Then you're covered on depreciation. It's another tip that we'll talk about later, why lease over finance. Which majority of these cars probably were leased when they were purchased. So that just for different reasons, whether it's registered to a business or whatever. But that's what, if I wanted to get one of these new, that's what I would do. But I want to talk about why I think under $40,000 is a good deal for this car. Let's talk about performance first. It is not a fast car, but it is a very respectable and quick car. 2014 V6 supercharged has 340 horsepower. 340 horsepower in today's time doesn't seem like a lot, but if you need more, there's always the V8 with upwards of almost 600 horsepower when you go with R. But I can tell you, I've been driving this car for the last 4 days. This is my 4th day driving it, and I've gone on the highway for longer trips. I've driven with other really quick, fast cars, and nobody was leaving. I was with the group, I was keeping up, I was rocking out. And that tells me that there was never a time where I put my foot down and was like, oh, this shit's slow. And I was with other fast cars moving. So that tells me all that I need to know, that performance wise, it's actually pretty good. It's nothing to sneeze at, to judge on, or whatever. So let's talk about comfort in interior space. As you can see now, like, I'm sitting in the car, I'm chilling. Like, I'm 6 foot 283, and I'm like 280 pounds, maybe 285. So I'm a big dude. And as you can see, plenty headroom. My legs feel comfortable. They're not all like bunched up. I'll show y'all now. See, my legs are not all bunched up. We good, we chilling. And overall, man, I haven't had any complaints. I've driven this car, about a little over 300 miles in the past 4 days. And I've done that comfortably. Relatively, obviously. It's not like a big car or whatever, but it doesn't feel super tight. Now, if I was any taller, I don't know. 6'4", probably still good. 6'5", I don't know. But that says a lot, because there are a lot of four-door cars that I don't feel comfortable or fit in. So that's one thing that surprised me when I got in the car, that how, like, once I got my seat set up, how, like, comfortable I was. As far as feature content, Jaguar is behind the ball 100%. I don't think they made any changes to the newer cars, but I can say that this interior is dated. The screen graphics are not that great. The layout and stuff, the layout, everything looks good. It looks good, but technology wise, it's just not there. For an example, you know, most cars now have a proximity sensor and a key that you walk up and you could, even the most basic of base models, Civics and Altimas have that stuff. So for this car not to have that, cool. It does do a nice little gimmick when you unlock the door. I don't know if you saw it in the montage, but when I unlocked the door handle popped out. That's cool. That's some James Bond stuff. But it really should do that via proximity as you walk up to it with the key in your pocket. Another thing that I notice is the sound system, meh, it's okay. I guess it's a small car, not a lot of room to put a lot of speakers. The subwoofer is behind the seat. And the way that I sit, because I sit so far back, the seat is touching the subwoofer. So that can't be good over time. And overall layout, like I was saying, looks cool. So with the top down, you chilling, you pull up somewhere and people look inside, it looks cool when you look inside, the way that everything is all laid out with the mix of, you know, leather and piano black and whatever. I don't know what the hell this is. Whatever it is, when you're not touching it, it looks good. So no complaints there. Moving on to the more positives of the vehicle. In this color combination, the red with the black wheels, with the black interior, and the top that goes down, I can't express that enough. The open air experience, it is a very, very cool experience. It is such a roadster feel, because that's what it is. And I tell you, man, there is like nothing kind of cooler than you put the top down on a nice cool summer evening or a nice warm evening in a bright red car that makes pops and crackles and accelerate quickly. It just feels like you don't really need nothing else in the world. And if you had a stressful day, this is the car that you're gonna go jump in and go for a drive in. I can't even imagine if this car had like the full sport exhaust, because it doesn't. What that is probably like, or being in a V8 model of this, what that's probably like. But curb appeal, this car has for days. For days, this car has nice curb appeal. You pull up and people pay attention. People pay attention. I've gone to different restaurants. I went to some clubs out here and pull up with the top down, you know what I mean? Pull up, crackle a little bit when you downshift. I'll show y'all that in a second. But man, people pay attention. They watching. And if that's something that you're interested in, that curb appeal, and you want to do it for little money, I mean, relatively little money. There's not many cars that you can get for $40,000 that's going to give you that same look of that you're doing it, even though you're really not. But the cons are Jaguar does not have a good history of reliability. And I've been driving this car, and although nothing has gone wrong driving this car, it's just something that's lingering in the back of my mind. When is something gonna go wrong? The way the engine sounds I'll let y'all hear that. The way the engine sounds, I don't like it. Like under idle, I don't know. I thought it was something wrong with the car, to be honest with you. It sounds almost diesel-ish, the way the car sounds. So I don't know if that's this particular car, but I doubt it, because I ran into another one, which is very rare, but it was a big car meet that I was at. And out of all the cars that it was multiples of, it was me and one other Jaguar F-Type out of the hundreds of cars that was out there. Whereas if you have any other type of car, more than likely you're gonna see a lot of them. If you have a Lamborghini and you go to a big car event, you're gonna see a lot of Lamborghinis. If you got a McLaren, same thing. Ferrari, same thing. Not saying that this car competes on that level, but for the curb appeal and pull up and rarity, you definitely gonna have a little bit more with the F-Type. So as far as cons, between that and just overall build quality, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's okay. When you close the door, it feels like kind of chintzy. It's just okay. It doesn't feel like ultra luxury or whatever. And for the sticker price that this car was, $80,000, I don't feel like you were getting your full $80,000 worth. But at $40,000, hell yeah, you're getting your money's worth if the car is reliable. Which leads me to my next point is, if you want to buy a car like this, make sure, if your loan is 60 months, make damn sure. If you only plan to keep the car 3 years, make sure you have, all 3 years you have this car, make sure you have a service contract on this car from Jaguar, not an aftermarket one, from Jaguar, and make sure that it is it covers everything. Make sure it is an exclusionary warranty, meaning that the only things that are not covered are the things that are stated. So the reason why I say that is because, like I said, Jaguar does not have the best history. But if you get a warranty from Jaguar, what it'll do is you can take the car to the service station at Jaguar, Land Rover. Most of them are together, those dealers. You can get a loaner car that probably is a Jaguar, and you'll have the whole experience. My feeling is, if you buy one of these cars off of a car lot or off an auction and you don't have a warranty, chances are within the first couple years you're gonna know that and you're gonna regret it. That's my feeling. I don't know that for sure, but I know Jaguar's reliability history, and it's, you know, Jaguar Land Rover, and we know Range Rover's reliability history is horrible. So great cars, as long as somebody else got to pay when something goes wrong. All right, let's throw the top up, quiet things down a little bit. All right, roof's latched. We'll go to the side real quick. And what I did was I actually threw a GoPro. There's a GoPro on the back of the car, and what you're gonna hear now is everything that I'm doing exhaust wise, because what I want to do is give you guys the full experience of what it's like for the exhaust. As you can hear right now, like the pops and bangs, it's pretty cool the way they have it set up. We're about to cross a tunnel. You know what I noticed between shifts, when you put it in like a race mode, it's like the shifts get very aggressive. And you can control the pops by downshifting and barely touching the gas a little bit. And then between shifts it does like the old school like Audi DSG farts. And along with the pops and bangs, but yeah, guys, so to get all of these sounds though, you have to drive it in manual mode. Listen to the DSG fart, listen. Feel that popping? And then you downshift again. For a little V6, man, the sound is really good. For a little V6, it's pretty damn good, man. Gives you a nice feeling of So, like I was saying, man, the fun factor for the money, man, is pretty good. Are there other cars that obviously are faster for the money? Absolutely. But are they faster, look this good, command this much presence, this rare? I can't say that it is. So it's really going to come down to what you want. But if you were considering getting some sort of a roadster car, some sort of a weekend toy, I can strongly recommend you consider the Jaguar F-Type. I wouldn't have said that before having this vehicle for 4 days, but now that I've been in this car, experienced it, taken it to car meets, pulled up to the club, I've done it all, and it does it pretty well. I was rolling around the past few days with my guy Steve the Gamer, who has a full bolt-on GTR, sick car, really nice, and that is a $100,000 car, to say the least, when you look at a one that new, because GTRs are that expensive now. And to be able to roll around with him and command the presence that this car commands, we was looking like we was really doing it in the city. So you know, there's a definite, like, people who don't know, they don't know. And a lot of people who you would think know, even car guys, don't know, because they don't look at this car. It's not like a consideration for them. But I got a little bit of a chance to smash a little bit here, so I'm gonna do that. Popping and banging all the way home. Now let's talk about practicality. I would not know what good gas mileage is the way that I drive, right? But I did go on some longer roads where I did notice that it wasn't bad. It wasn't great either. For a car that's only a V6, I can tell you it wasn't that great. You know? So there you have it, guys. That covers everything. We talked about interior build, we talked about driving impressions, we talked about value. If there's anything that we missed during the point of this review, please drop it in the comments, guys. If there's something that you wanted to see that you did not see, it helps us with future reviews going forward. But anyway, it's your boy Stephen here from Mod2Fame, and here in the Jaguar F-Type drop top, red, blacked out. We out.